Hello students, today we are just going to deal with very core two components of components, better to say. Those are the drop down and the checkbox. Actually we are going to decide on the similarities of functions that can be achieved by using some of the special attributes, so that the whatever is being performed with the help of checkbox, some extra attributes and some extra features can also be put or adjusted with drop down. So let's start and have a sample check first, so that how does it look like whenever something is being happening, special features are being attributed or added with a drop down list. Then what should we look of it and how does it work? So let's check it first. Now hello students, you can find it out that there is a list box with multiple options, and I can select some of them or all of them. That is the option number 1, and there is a possibility just I have added certain features and it can be done. And I'm also going to check some of them, all of the checkbox available: springs, temples, sunrise or marketplaces. That means there is a possibility that from a list I can choose some, all of them, and that is the extra feature that can be done, and that is being submitted properly. And this time I'm going to leave the list box separately, but I'm going to check only the checkboxes, and I'm going to get a message that this is going to please select an item because it's a mandatory one. Now how it is to be done? Now students, as just you have seen through the video, there are some of the features which are being inserted, or better to say embedded within the web page. Especially we have put a text box and the place you want to visit, and I have given a text box so that you can type something. Thereafter I have given a list. Now this list is something different from the list we have just seen in the previous video, whatever has been put on the previous session, that you had to have, or you just have gone through a single pointer, so that you can click on a list, you can find it to the multiple number of contents, and one of them should be chosen. But in this case we are providing you more than one options can be chosen, so that if you want to choose more than one, then you can also choose it. That means somehow the things are being similar to the checkboxes, because in radio buttons, whatever you have already learned in the earlier videos, that the radio buttons are specially for the cases where you have to choose one of the many, something like MCQ test in the Google form, whatever you have also done. But in checkbox you can choose one, you can choose many, or you can choose none of them. So if you want to have that type of effect or attribute with the list also, you can put it, and for that particular purpose whatever is supposed to be done, we are just going to decide on it. Now you can also find out another thing, that there is a special comment has come that please select an item in the list. That means I have also made this particular list a mandatory one, that some of the content should be clicked. That means you can make the field required something like a Google form. That means you can choose and you can make something mandatory even in list by putting some extra attribute. Now what are those attributes? So let us find it out. Now if you check it properly, this is a drop down box, but you can find it out. A vertical scroll bar is there because having number of items are there, and whenever you want to choose more than one, then the list should be available at the same time. So you can find it out, the height has increased because there are 4 items. And then you can find it out that there is something called the checkboxes. You can also find it out that there are 3 options I have chosen. That means what are the options or features of a checkbox, that you can choose multiple number of items. The same thing can also be done with the help of a list. Now how the things are going to be done and how a drop down can work like a list, that checkbox, you can find it out. Now the standard statement, just to create the HTML tag, better to say, to write down or to create a drop down list is very simple. You have to use the tag select, and within it you have to use the option also, so that you can insert individual item, to which select the name is there. Now name stands for the name of that particular component group. That means whenever I'm going to deal with this drop down list, the drop down is actually being known to the program or to the server as interest. Along with it, there are 2 another encircle components. One is multiple, encircled with red border, and there one is required encircled with a green border. Now, what are the uses of this? You must have already understood that whenever I'm going to put that particular feature, that from a drop-down list you can choose more than one. Just to do that particular functionality or to embed it, you have to use the particular keyword multiple. So with select, name should be obviously there because this is the name of the particular list box group, but along with it, if you want to add that multiple, that means you are allowing somebody to choose multiple options from that. And there is another word or keyword, there is a space in between both the things, required. That means this is a mandatory field. So in a form, you cannot press the submit or the things cannot be submitted until unless you select at least one of them. So just to make a mandatory entry in a particular drop-down list, you have to use the keyword required. Now, apart from that, in the option button, there are two things you can find it out. Number one, the value part. That means what value the form should send to the server or the destination if whenever you press the button called submit. That is being mentioned with the value part. That means whenever from the list you select the marketplace, then what value should go to the server? It should go market. I think the things are very clear to you. With option tag, there should be the value. This value is actually the value which is to be sent to the server. And the marketplace, whatever has been put outside it, outside the tag marketplace, that is the value to be displayed on the web page. So this marketplace, sunrise, temple, spring, written in capital letter, this is for the display. But whenever you click or select one of them, some of them or all of them, what values are supposed to be sent to the server, that has been kept written within the double quotes, inverted comma, with the value. I think things are very clear to you. Now based on that, we are going to give you the assignment, and the assignment is very simple. Actually, we are going to have something similar type of assignment whatever you have given in the last week, but in this case this is not only travel and tour, this is online booking for jungle safari, where at least one tribal village should be chosen in the tour plan. That means there may be a collection of tribal villages which is being coming in the trekking or jungle safari route, but you have to include at least one of the tribal villages available in the list. I think you can also understand what is the purpose, so that you can use that particular required command, and you can also use that particular multiple command or tag within your HTML scripting. Now thank you, have a nice day, and stay fit, stay healthy. Please be ready for the next assignment, and I think you are enjoying the lesson very much, and thanks.